breakout session. Sorry, you've got me again. Hope you all enjoyed this morning and have had some nice food and drinks. And yeah, we're going to kick off our next breakout session. So this is always my favorite room because I love accessibility and I love talking about women's stuff. So I always host this room. But yeah, our first session is interactive. So Heather's going to present, but she's also going to put in some time for Q&A. So if you join, it's a different Slido this time for this room. Give it a scan. Get it ready. You can start asking questions throughout the presentation, and Heather will come to them at the end. Make sure you vote for the top ones, because I don't think we'll be able to get to all of them. Has anyone figured out what we're doing with the rooms? It's a very tenuous link. We're doing different eras of technology. So here you're in the computer room. We've got the Apollo, the moon landing. Yeah. You can go around and tell everyone and explain that to them. But fab. So I have the absolute pleasure of introducing Heather onto the stage. So we've been speaking with Heather for years about accessibility. What her and her team do is really, really incredible, like properly leading the pack there. And actually the winners of our Accessibility Award last year as well. So no one better to come and speak to you about this today. Heather's fun fact is that she once hit a tennis ball against Virginia Wade. I've got a few. She lived in Australia for 10 years. She played county badminton. We'll have to play. But yes, please give a nice warm welcome to Heather.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's so nice to see you, and thank you for coming to this session. There's quite a lot of you. There's other great sessions going on, so I'm feeling the pressure now. There's so many here. Thank you. I'm going to share some stories about accessibility at Skyscanner, and I guess I'm really hoping just to be able to help anyone who's on a similar accessibility journey learn some stuff and together make the world a more digitally accessible place. So firstly, just very briefly about Skyscanner. In fact, hands up who has used Skyscanner. Woo! Oh my God, the CEO would love seeing that. I need to get a picture of that later. So yeah, you'll know then, we're a global online travel brand. We do flights, hotels, car hire. We've got 1,300-ish staff across 9 offices around the world, as far away as Shenzhen in China. And we translate what we do into 35 languages, so our localization team is pretty busy. And we have 100 million monthly active users, so travelers like us, which is great. I was a UX writer for 7 years at RBS before I joined Skyscanner. I actually joined Skyscanner as a UX writer, but it was during my interview process, you might know this story, but during my interview process, they asked me to do a UX critique of their app. And I was looking through it, and all of the issues I was finding were accessibility issues. And it surprised me for a number of reasons. I thought Skyscanner would be all over it. Plus, I didn't really know that I knew this stuff. We'd just been doing it as a matter of course at the bank, and it was just part of what we did. So yeah, it was a bit shocking. So over some time, I ended up actually writing a job description for myself. Someone needed to fix it, and became accessibility lead. That was about 3.5 years ago. I'm also co-founder of CAN, or the Champions of Accessibility Network, which is a LinkedIn group, which we have some members down here. So very open to anyone to join. So it's people who are in accessibility roles, or design roles, or engineering roles, anyone trying to progress accessibility in their organization. It's a fabulous group of people. We have over 800 members. Furthest away, I think, is in the New Zealand government. And we get together once a month for great Zoom meetups, and we chat, we share information, we help each other, we laugh, we cry. It's a lovely open group, so please, if you're interested, find us on LinkedIn. So today, I'm going to talk about the Skyscanner journey so far. I'll share some case studies, a little bit about what's next for us as well. I'll give you the learnings that we've made over the last 3 years, and then time for Q&A. Please give me some hard questions. I love a hard question. So, Skyscanner journey. As I said, I joined as a UX writer. Day one, I was like, right, where is the Accessibility Guild Slack channel? I found it. There weren't many people on it, but I was like, hey, hi, I've come from the bank. Can I do anything, or what's happening? And it was very much a tumbleweed moment, nothing happening at all. So I got those folk together in a room. That was March 2019. We talked, and I left that feeling so motivated and energized, with an action to go and get some funding so that we could try and get the ball rolling and kick things off at Skyscanner. And I'm just so proud to say that we have met up every month ever since then. They are now my Accessibility Champions network, and they are an awesome, awesome bunch. We have a few more than this. This was a Christmas night out, Edinburgh, London, talking to one another while we're having our pints. So going to get that buy-in, going to get that first bit of funding was a challenge. My boss thought it was a fabulous idea. His boss, head of design, thought it was a brilliant thing we should all be doing. But to get the money, I had to go to the chief product officer, so the scary guy that owns our websites and our apps. And he was like, yeah, I've heard of this stuff. Go write me a proper business case. So I did. I could talk about that for hours. I'm not going to bore you with that. But the three main areas of our business case were all the commercial reasons for doing it, the legal reasons for doing it, and the moral reasons for doing it. The moral bit is the bit that we hang our hat on. That is the bit that matters to us most. We are such an inclusive company. I really love that fact about Skyscanner, and we will not knowingly exclude anyone. So that was a big thing for us, and we got over the line. So got a little bit of funding, and with that, went and found some help. So Nomensa and AbilityNet worked with them. Initially, Nomensa came in and did a wonderful workshop for us, and started actually auditing our component library. So having a look at our components on an individual component basis and telling us what accessibility issues there were. They're a great place to start as a tip. And AbilityNet, Adi Latif there, a blind usability consultant, came in, talked about lived experience, and really he gives a great talk, and I think he does it for free still. So if anyone is wanting someone to come in and talk about accessibility with lived experience of blindness, he is a great guy. So I wanted to really get my teeth into making what we do more accessible, and the chief product officer, who actually is now my manager, so that's nice that accessibility now reports into him. It's great. It was a great move. He said, go work on our new mobile website. It's a small project. They've only just started. So let's try and embed accessibility in from the start, which we did, and it was great. We learned so many things. We did little audits of our new pages that were really good to do just to keep us on track. It was the very first time we started testing with disabled travellers. So we tested with blind travellers, we tested with dyslexic travellers, and we learned a shitload there. I mean, that is the best thing you can do. Put your stuff in front of disabled people and see if they can use it and find out the problems. It's worth its weight in gold. So from there, we learned a lot of lessons and wanted to scale. So I went off and built a strategy with a wonderful vision that is a couple of years old now, and I think I'll have this for another good few years at least. It's to make Skyscanner a flagship of disability inclusion, our products accessible to all, and travel easier for people with disabilities. And that really kind of covers three main areas. So flagship of disability inclusion, that's us looking at our people, so internally, our disabled colleagues. How can we make positive change to allow them to thrive in our workplace? Products accessible is all about our travellers. How do we make our websites and our apps able to be used by anybody? And then travel easier for people with disabilities is looking out at our industry. So we work with a lot of partners, online travel agents, flight companies, airlines. How can we help them be more accessible too, so our traveller has a full digitally accessible journey? Our strategy has been very straightforward, raising awareness across the business. We've done a lot of that, particularly in the first couple of years. Then that leads to increased adoption of best practice, which we're still working on. We're not there yet. And then advocacy, we talk about it a lot more internally and externally, and then the whole thing kind of cycles quite nicely round. So that's been a very simple thing that has helped me plan a lot of the work that we've done. We built a hub of resources. everyone wanted to know, okay, all right, we want to do this, but how do we do it? So we have a content hub, and we have guidelines, we have getting started guides for different disciplines. This is also where we house all our projects, and one big place that everything lives, and it's quite handy to have. We also run empathy labs. Did anyone manage to experience the one out there? Can I see some hands? Yeah, oh good, all right, quite a few people, great. So we just brought 3 stations today because we didn't have room to do rest, but normally we have 9 or 10 different stations where we simulate different disabilities, give people tasks to try and do, and we always caveat it with, there is nothing better than speaking to someone with lived experience. But as a way of doing something in a repeatable way that's quite easy to set up, that we can do all the time, it's great. So I've got a little video I can play for you, just a 3-minute thing. Empathy labs are places where we simulate different disabilities, and we have set up a lot of technology there. So we've got laptops around the room, we've got phones, we've even got a dartboard. And the idea is that our Skyscanner employees can sit down and really see things from a different viewpoint, be in someone else's shoes that they might not have ever considered before. By doing it, we really want people to leave with a, I didn't know it was like that. For some people, what can I do to change? So we've got some information in there as well that highlights what they can do in their daily jobs to make our products more accessible to people with disabilities, but also what they're doing internally, so to make everything more accessible for our staff.
I'm an accessibility user myself, so I'm quite passionate about making accessibility for all. I just don't want someone to get left behind like I did when I was younger, so I find it really important as working in the company to give that powerful voice to people that don't have it.
It's been super insightful to see all the different challenges that people with different disabilities have.
The fact are about things are temporary and how things are permanent. It's not something I was very aware of, and I can't imagine that many other people are aware of it too. The fact that you can be temporarily disabled, such as having a broken arm or whatever, which would really stop you doing things that you're very used to, like using a mouse or any other type of computer. So yeah, just things like that you don't really realise that you are more affected by these things, or perhaps will be in the future. And yeah, it's humbling in that way.
And I just think that everybody needs to experience our products from these different angles, just to understand how people experience the world, how they experience online, which we all take for granted, and we all can use it and find the information we need or get the tasks done that we need, but actually for some people they can't do that.
A company that's inclusive like Skyscanner, so we don't want to disregard people.
Everybody should be able to travel and enjoy the world. So no matter whether you're engineering or design, internal comms, I think everybody can do their bit.
Still makes me a bit emotional when I see that video, I don't know why. My helpers at the back have just come in actually. Thank you guys for doing the accessibility, the empathy lab right there, thank you. It has been such a wonderful thing for us to do. We now have been asked to run them at global induction events. So any new starts come to Edinburgh, no matter what office they start in, they come to Edinburgh for 2 days. Every 3 months, the new ones come, and we run an empathy lab for them there and talk about accessibility. So, you know, to go from nothing happening in the company at all to every new person going through this, it really says a lot for how the business are taking it on board and how important it is to them. So yeah, we're totally delighted with how these go. Training is a big one. Training, a couple of years ago, I managed to get around 45 different teams in the business. So a lot of engineers, a lot of designers, but also teams like finance. So I didn't want to just make this about product. I wanted this to be about how do we make everything that we do accessible. And I know many of you will know of the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG. We do try and comply with those, but they are full on, and there's 78 success criteria or something like that. So when I talk to teams about it, I've condensed it down to this. We do go into a lot more detail than just this, but I say that if we can do these 5 things, we're in a good place. We want to design, thinking about color and font size and layout and these good things, making it work for everyone. Content is super important, plain language, and also writing for that hidden copy, so that screen reader stuff that people are going to hear instead of see. making sure something works just on a keyboard only. That was one of our stations out in our lab there. A lot of people are restricted to just using keyboard. They cannot use a mouse or a trackpad, so it has to work when being operated like that. And screen readers, so anyone who's blind or visually impaired, or even someone with dyslexia, a couple of people at work use a screen reader often to just listen to a lot of content that's on a screen. So we need to build and think about that all the time. It's the hardest part, though, for sure, in my opinion. And then magnification, again, we had a station out there at lunchtime. Just if you need to be able to magnify up to 400% and not lose any content or functionality. So those are the kind of 5 main areas that we focus on. Advocacy, we talk about this a lot now, so particularly over the last year, which is great. I love doing chats like this. I go out and talk to a lot of different companies about what they're doing. We have LinkedIn posts. We have an accessibility statement on our website. We joined the Valuable 500, which I was so super thrilled to get the CEO's approval on that. I'd only met him, I had 20 minutes in a room with him and I had to convince him to do this, having never met him before. This is 500 companies across the world committed to improving disability inclusion, and we're one of them. And we did this beautiful disabled travel photo shoot that we use across our marketing, which is lovely. The Champions Network was something that had been running for a while. We called it the Accessibility Guild. But last year, we restructured it into this. I don't know if you can see that clearly, sorry. But we have now 5 pods. And what I wanted to do here was, rather than just everyone being in one group and talking a lot about it, but not doing a whole lot, I wanted people to be more active. So I wanted to put people into more discipline-specific groups, and this has worked so well. So my product makers pod is made up of champions who are product designers, content designers, researchers, product owners, localization team are in there. Then our marketing and comms is social media, advertising, marketing, user satisfaction. Engineering is all web app systems engineers. And then our internal pod is everyone from finance, legal, talent acquisition, workplace. So once they were all together, they got thinking about what they could improve in their specific areas. They created goals for themselves that then went into my wider roadmap. So it's like having a team of 80 odd people when I actually don't. It's fabulous, and my colleagues back there are all amazing champs. These guys are fantastic. They are all volunteers. Obviously, they are doing their other jobs, but a lot of them spend quite some time on accessibility, and yeah, we wouldn't be where we are without them. Reporting might sound boring, right? But I think this is my favorite slide. I'm glad you can't see the detail, right? So don't look at the numbers too closely. But this has changed the way accessibility is viewed in the business, I think. We started working with a tool called AQA. It's an auditing tool. In fact, Nancy is the team lead of that project, who's here. AQA allows us to test or audit our website and our mobile website every week. So the team have set up these automated tests that run every Monday, and they spit out an accessibility score. So that's what the report looks like in the middle. And every team who's working on those sites gets their own report with all of the lists of their issues. It is only an automated audit, which only covers max 40% of potential issues. But having a metric that we can track over time, having a graph like that that's going in the right direction, leadership love it. It's much easier to start talking about it to people. It's what we needed to happen. So I think a lot of progress has been made because of that. We're better than this score. If you can see that score, we're higher at the moment. But it goes up and down. A whole new feature is put in one day and the thing can drop again. So we're definitely we're not there yet. Another thing I'm really enjoying tracking is the performance of the actual accessibility program. We use AbilityNet's Digital Accessibility Maturity Model, or their DAM. Loads of companies have one, and they're excellent. You can plot where you are against a number of dimensions. So AbilityNet's one covers vision, leadership, processes, capability, and procurement. I've seen others that have maybe 12 dimensions. It just tells you what you need to do to progress. and it's a great thing, particularly when you're building a strategy. We look at this all the time. Okay, what procurement's lacking badly there? So what do we need to do to start, moving that up a bit? It's just great. If you're trying to get your company to take this seriously, start putting some numbers on it like this. We also very pleased to see, in fact, Ollie, who's here, is the lead of our lovely design library, or component library. It's called Backpack, it's open source. This little QR code will take you right to our accessibility page, like if anyone wants a wee scan. We have redesigned it so that we are focusing a lot more on accessibility now in the new design system. There's a whole section in there with discipline-specific guidance, and we're working really hard at component level to make our components beautifully accessible as well. Again, we're not there yet, but we're certainly on a good path. And I just want to say this. All of that work it's just created so much momentum, and we're up now. Something wonderful happened a few months ago where the business came to us and said, hey, let's join together these 4 areas, so sustainability, DE&I, communities, and accessibility, and let's put it under a banner called Positive Impact. And for Skyscanner to do that was phenomenal. They are talking about this now. We've only just launched this internally. We are yet to launch it externally, so actually you guys might be the first hearing about this. But it's fabulous. We're looking at how we can each individually be more impactful, but also how by being together we can be ultimately impactful. So I think there's going to be a lot of good work coming out of this. Yeah, delighted. For me, this is a huge milestone moment. Okay, so that was the journey. We have, in terms of the program, I'm really proud of where we've got to in 3 years. In terms of the accessibility of our products, we are getting better every day, but I'm never standing up saying, hey, we're super accessible, anyone can use us, because we're not. It takes years and bloody years, as anyone working in this industry will know. It is not a quick fix. So anyone who hasn't started an accessibility journey, get going, because it's a long one, and a great one, So just some case studies to share, to bring some things to life of what we've been doing. So color palette was one of them. The color palette on the left, don't worry about the detail, if you can see roughly the colors. It was a beautiful palette. It was designed a good few years ago. But the color pairings here that we were given by the design agency who did it, nobody had thought about accessibility at all there, like not at all. So it wasn't working and it was causing a lot of problems. 25% of our bugs, our accessibility bugs in our iOS app were color related. So it was not on. Accessibility was the catalyst for the design team actually going and having a look at this. There were other reasons as well. And they worked really hard on it. They tweaked some colors. They created a Marcoms palette and then a more kind of restricted product palette so that we were always managing to have good enough color contrast with what we were doing. They looked into a night mode and they just put rules around the use of color. So it meant that designers were never making accessibility errors. And it's made a big difference to us, and it's still beautiful. Our search controls, okay, so these are like our bread and butter. These are like what people come to Skyscanner to use, is this. You put in where you're going, when you're going, who you're going with, and then you search for flights. So this is a bit of a before and after. Before, you can, in fact, this is quite good because it's quite pale, but can you read the heading? No, it's a bit, contrast's a bit crap. So yeah, let the journey begin, it says, but it's white text on a pale bit of blue. It's like, not so good. Plus the image behind all of this, kind of competing against the field labels, and it's just too busy, too much going on. So we moved the image right away from them, which was a fabulous thing to do. Had to fight for it actually, but the headline is now on a block of dark color, which is great, really clear. The controls themselves have been simplified, and then this image, our partner information here was pretty hard to see. So it's now, there's a scrim on this image, so it's always like a gradient, it's always darker at the bottom. And it's just, yeah, our partners are pretty happy with that as well, because it's their information is getting out there in a clearer way. So that took a while, visually much better, but I will admit to you now that screen reader users were not so much considered at the beginning of this project. When I realized this, I was deeply, deeply disappointed. But what was amazing was the project went, right, got you. They stopped, they paused, they went back. We tested with visually impaired travelers. We learned what the problems were, we fixed them, and then we went live. Now that put that project back weeks and weeks. But I'm so glad that they did it. I don't think that would have happened a couple of years ago. They would have just launched anyway. So yeah, progress, even although it's not perfect, progress. Keyboard-only navigation. Okay, as we saw out in the Empathy Lab earlier, some people are just restricted to using a keyboard. And if you don't think about that in your design or your build of your page, it can cause some problems. So this is me coming into Skyscanner. I've done a search. I've now been taken to the search results page, and those numbers are every time I'm hitting the tab key. So all I want to do is get down here to this first result, so I can see how much it is. But it's taken me down all through the filters down the left-hand side. I think it actually takes me all the way down to the bottom. By this time, they would have gone to Kayak. You know, you don't want to do this stuff. So there's 78 hits of the tab key to get to that first result. It's quite embarrassing. So we fixed it. We used a skip link, which is a really common accessibility pattern. You know when someone is just using a keyboard, so we can put up a skip link straight away, and it appears just after the logo. I go past it, I come back, and it takes me. You can program that to go anywhere you want on the page. So that was 3 hits of the tab key. Whew, better. Screen readers, I've said, hardest part, in my opinion, to make a really great screen reader experience. This shows you a little before and after of our date picker. Now, date pickers notoriously difficult as well to make accessible, but we've given it a go. Now, I'm going to play this video. This is Gert Jan, who's our lead accessibility engineer, made these videos for me, and this just shows how fast he's listening to his screen reader. People who use screen readers every day will be listening to them faster than this, but just be ready for some very fast voice. You will hear the screen reader go through these days, meaningless if they're not related to the actual dates. And then you'll hear them hear it not really reading the numbers properly at all. Like, see if you can hear.
Tuesday, Wed, Thursday, Friday, Sat, Sun, May. The 10th of May, 2023, €122, button. Double tap to select departure date. Select return date, the 11th, the 13th of May, 2023, €190, selected. The 13th of May, 2023, €190, selected as end date.
2023. No. Okay, so we fixed it, and now we have put heading tags on the months. So a lot of screen reader users will navigate just from headings. So it's like visual users scanning through a page of the headings, so you can tell roughly what's there. They will listen to the headings. We fixed up the weird how you describe a number, and we've actually put the dates on the actual, the days on the actual date, so it makes it much easier. You know you want to go on a Friday, but you're not exactly sure of the date. But yeah, much easier. Have a listen.
2023, heading. Language, default headings. June 2023, heading. Thursday, the 1st of June, 2023, €88, button. Double tap to select departure date. Thursday, the 8th of June, 2023, €88, button. Double tap to select return date, optional. Saturday, the 17th of June, 2023, €165, button. Double tap to select return date.
Yay, €165 rather than 165 or something horrible. So simple, it seems really simple. A screen reader user would really appreciate those changes. So happy with those. All right, there's loads of other things happening. I don't have time to show you any more, but what's next for us? So those 3 areas that I mentioned before, our people, our travellers, our industry, those are our focus still. So for our people, we are continuing to look at how we improve our policies, how we improve our processes. We're working on how we make it easier for disabled candidates to go through the recruitment process with us. We're actually looking for a visually impaired software engineer. If anyone knows of anyone who might fit the bill, we're looking for someone who uses a screen reader on a daily basis to come and join our team. And yeah, we're just still working on creating a disability network. So we have our accessibility network, but we're also looking at creating a disability network as more of a kind of support place for our colleagues. Travellers, so much activity happening. We've just rolled out amazing training by DQ, actually. Talking about that. And also face-to-face training to our product design team. We are looking at embedding best practice into our processes still. I mean, we've been trying to do this for years. It is there a little, but it's not there enough, so still working on that. We're looking at how we improve our processes for testing with disabled travellers. At the moment we do it, but it's quite ad hoc. I want to build it into actual processes so everyone does it. In fact, I was speaking to user testing who we do use about that earlier on. We're also looking at our social media and our marketing and our emails, testing those areas. Our social media is actually quite good. The team there has been on this for some time. And yeah, there's a ton of work that still needs done in that area. And then for our industry, this is really exciting. This is a partner accessibility hub that is in design. We haven't launched this yet, so it looks something like this. But we're going to take this out to airlines and online travel agents and say, hey, come on, we're trying our best here. When we move our travellers from Skyscanner out to you guys, we want you guys to be accessible as well. So we're going to help them. We're going to give them our strategies, give them our business case. You know, here you go, and hopefully go talk to them and work with them as well. Yeah, 3 years of trying things out, and these are the kind of learnings that I wanted to share with you. If you haven't started thinking about accessibility in your business, a great way to do it is to get everyone's attention, and doing that with a disabled user is great. So we did this, Addy tried out our site, block, he couldn't do something. We show that to the leadership and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, we get it. Getting all leadership on board. So I have focused on the kind of exec level, but actually you also need the other managers involved as well. They need to be on board. They're the ones prioritizing the work. So they're the ones at the moment asking me, well, why should we do accessibility stuff over something else or something else? So getting all leadership on board is key. And I'm saying here, make one person responsible. Everyone's responsible for accessibility, but having one person leading it makes a huge difference. So suddenly you've got roadmaps, you've got your metrics, you've got someone very passionate doing it. It's just not gonna, they're not gonna let it go. So putting someone in that job, I think it just makes a world of difference. And educate everyone, so it's not just about developers and designers, this is about everyone in the business. I had different training guides for different disciplines, and if everyone knows about it, everyone can actually do something. Even like making your PowerPoint presentations more accessible, or Zoom calls, or internally, what can you do? Understanding the issues. I am a fan of the audit. I don't want to audit something after something's been built, but I want to use audits to understand at the beginning of projects. Okay, where are we making a mess here? And when you do have an audit done, they'll tell you the easy to fix issues, and if you can have some kind of matrix, the really severe ones, which are the easy ones to fix. Do them first. It just gives you this really nice way of prioritizing the issues. Champions Network. My network is, as I said, worth its weight in gold. I need those people. So even a network, small, 2 or 3 people to begin with, is super important. And then building it into your processes. This takes bloody ages. It really does. It's a long, long process. But do it. And this is all about, when you're building products, you have to start way, way left. So it's requirement stage, it's the product folks, get it into their processes all the way through design and content and research and build and test. got to be in everyone's. And if you can do that, you just want to keep going and get it into your culture of the organization. I don't want to be asking for it all the time. I just want it to happen. I want to do myself out of a job. And I think that would be the case when it is truly part of your culture. And celebrate the wins. Like, I think accessibility is hard. It's hard. And it's hard being the person when you are faced with a lot of barriers a lot of the time. So anything that happens, if you are a little bit more accessible today than you were yesterday, celebrate that. It's great. And just keep going. There is no giving up. You can't give up. You just have to keep going. My final thought for today is I just wanted to show you this LinkedIn post. This I wrote on Global Accessibility Awareness Day this year. And I actually wrote 2 posts. The first post was heartfelt and, oh my God, I've met so many amazing people. Thank you for sharing and, helping me. And I genuinely have met so many just diamonds doing this job. It really has been amazing. So that was kind of like, oh, heartfelt. And then, so I posted that one. This was about 11:30 at night. I might have had a few wines. But I posted this. And I was having a rant. And I wanted to read it to you in the way that I was thinking it. 2 or 3 wines down, okay? So it did start with a bit of a, ho! If you are part of the product development process, your job is not done until you have considered disabled users. Designers, your job is not done until you have made your UX or UI work for disabled people and included accessibility info in your design specs. It's a no-brainer. Writers, your job is not done until you've written hidden copy that will be heard by screen reader users to make your journey make sense. And researchers, come on, your job is not done until you have tested the usability of a product with disabled users. Developers, come on, your job's not done until you've written code in a way that makes a product accessible and you've tested it yourself using a keyboard, using a screen reader, and zooming up to 400%. And product owners, you guys, you hold the key. Your job is not done until you've made sure all of the above shit happens. And that accessibility was part of your goddamn original requirements. Come on. Okay, thank you. Happy to take any questions at all. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Okay, number 1. How do you convince a profit-focused business to prioritize accessibility? So I think it can, so this will change depending on the business, like completely. I was quite lucky with Skyscanner because of the importance that they put on, one of our values is traveller first. So you can't have a traveller first value when you're knowingly excluding a huge proportion of society. So for us, it was quite an easy one. The whole moral side of it's the right thing to do, the whole inclusion focus was key. I did have to talk about growing the audience and getting loyalty from the disabled community, that kind of thing. But it's really, really, really hard to put numbers on that stuff. So thankfully, Skyscanner was more interested in the moral side of things, I would say. But yeah, it's a big challenge for other businesses who maybe don't think about it quite like that. Okay, after fixing the website's initial issues, how do you ensure the website stays accessible in the future? That's great. This is all about building it into the processes. So we've talked about this a few times. Let's just have an accessibility sprint, or let's focus on it for a month. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say no to that, but we need to build it into the foundation. So it's just part of, it's not this add-on. It cannot be an add-on. It has to be just part of what everybody does. And that is how you would ensure that everything stays accessible. It takes a long time though. I keep saying that. I think that might be the theme. It takes a long time. But try. Work out the key points in the process and embed it into the existing process. Try not and create a new process, because people don't want that. Okay. How did the teams measure the success of accessibility across the platform? Do you mean using the AQA tool? The auditing side of it? I'm going to go for that because I think probably yes. So we have AQA, which is an auditing tool by UsableNet. They're an American company. And we set up automated tests across most of our desktop website and also on our mobile website. And we run those automated tests once a week. And it's actually quite cool because the product allows you to go in and actually go through the journey as if you were a user. So it's not just doing a scrape of a page. It's actually allowing you to interact. When you set the initial test up, you're interacting with everything that a traveler would be interacting with. So it's a true user experience. And then it's automated, and it pumps out a score. We take the score from web, desktop web, mobile web, average it out, and that's how we track that. It's all tested against WCAG, so everything any audit like that would be tested against the WCAG set of standards. They do also allow. We went with them actually because you can do manual testing using the tool. So they will still automate everything that they can, but then they will guide you through the manual checks that you have to do. And it's great. So you're just following instructions, basically. And the tool actually tells you how to fix issues as well. So for us, it's great. We did look at a few others. But yeah, we're happy with that one. OK. What digital tools do you use to empower your engineering or QA teams? So we don't have QA. This is a very topical point. We have squads of engineers who do their own testing. Ollie, you'd have more to say on this actually than I wish I had QA. I wish I could train a team of QA folk and just go, right, guys, don't let anything live until it all works. But we don't. So the squads do that themselves. We use Axe, Axe Core, JestAxe. We try and embed testing into that development process and then into the integration process as well. I want to get to the stage where we work like Slack. Like Slack have standards of accessibility that they don't let anything live until it meets at least the bronze standard. I want to get there. That's the aim. So we'll see what we can do. How do you set up Empathy Labs? Right, well, there's lots of different ways to do this, actually. I should share more on this because it's fascinating. We have done it we first of all created personas. So we have 10 disabled personas with different disabilities. Then we worked out what kind of task would work to show how that disability affects use of technology. And then we just built some cool little situations, like we have. Our most recent one that we've developed is a little colorblind one, which is really simple. It's just a laptop with the Fila website opened up, and we have a little tool called SimDaltonism that allows you to see through different colorblind lenses. Pop it on top, and we say, okay, try and choose a red sweater, and you can't. So yeah, we've kind of worked it all out. We just ordered the kit, so I've got a cupboard in the Edinburgh office with all the laptops we need, all the phones, all the glasses. So the vision impairment simulation glasses, they are fabulous. There's a few different sets of them. We have the nice big plastic ones that fit in a case. They simulate loads of different vision impairments. And we have arthritis gloves that you can buy from Cambridge University that we had them on the table there actually, that simulate arthritis. I mean, we always have to say, and I will say it again, that they're simulations and they are great for that initial empathy raising and awareness raising, but They're not true reflections of disability, but it's a good place to start. We also test quite a lot on our own website. Like, I like finding problems in Skyscanner and having them as part of the tasks for people. It kind of hits home more if people are working on that. It's quite nice, so we try and do that. Do you have any advice for auditing your site without funding for external agencies? Yes. Yes. I'm wondering if I could share this. We created an auditing checklist that we used before we had AQA. And we had a web checklist and an app checklist. And actually, it's split into those 5 areas that I talked about before. I'm very happy to share that. Actually, if anyone wants it, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah, it's cool. Actually, it is going to be on the new Partner Hub as well. So we're sharing it with partners. It's great. It breaks it all down into the tests that you want to do. It relates it to the WCAG success criteria as well, so it links through to that, so you can go and have another look or a deeper dive into it. But it breaks it down quite nicely, and it's quite easy and manageable. So yeah, I'm very happy to share that. How do you incorporate the brand team needs into a platform that conforms to accessibility needs? So, did you see the new color palette? Like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's no. I think maybe this is a misconception that something accessible is like black and white, or just yellow and I don't know, just really like simple monochrome. It's just not the case. As long as you know what you're doing with color and about the minimum color contrast ratios that you're aiming for, things can still be beautiful, completely beautiful. And it's just another kind of constraint that a design team would have, and they love constraints, right? That's what they're all about. So yeah, accessible does not mean ugly in any way, shape, or form. July 2025, EU regulations. How do you know when you are legally compliant to WCAG 2.1AA? That's a great question, and someone in America probably would have a very good answer for this because they get sued all the time. Someone will come and do an audit, and it's still very unclear what a pass is. Like, it's quite challenging to pass every single thing in WCAG. Sometimes you have to make a choice. Do we meet this criteria, or do we meet this one? Because some situations it's impossible to meet everything. Don't know, because it hasn't happened yet for us. No one has come and audited us from it externally, and I would welcome it. I would welcome it if they did. But I know that our friends at the Open University, they were audited, and they just looked at the homepage. So that, what does it mean? It means nothing. Students are not, well, they're going to have to get past the homepage, but it's not going to be that bit that they're going to be spending a lot of time on. So, yeah, it's a challenge. It is a challenge. And I'll just answer this last one, I think, unless am I out of time? What's been your biggest challenge in your accessibility journey during your career? There's been quite a few. What has been the biggest one? Not getting the business on board, because that was relatively straightforward. I actually think it is the processes side. I know that's a very boring answer, but it has to be embedded across so many parts of the product development process. Trying to get that happening is hard. We've been trying it for a good few years. It's in some, it's not in some. It's going to take a long time to get into all of them. That, for me, yeah, I think is the biggest challenge. Which means if you haven't started your accessibility journey, you need to start now, because it takes time. Okay, well, thank you so much. It's been really nice talking to you today. Thank you.